There has been an interesting conversation on my first channel and blog, Modes and Beams, about the connections between the four basic functions: sensing, feeling, intuiting, and thinking. He provided half of those connections, and the other half were provided by Jack Aaron. Those ideas are great, but both rely on the role of the subject. And I wanted to see how those ideas could still play out without the subject. I wanted to talk about first the ideas provided by Michael Pearce. He talks about the concepts of denotation and connotation. Denotation describes the functions that analyze what's given by the object, which are sensing and thinking. And the opposite, connotation, describes what's not given by the object, which are intuiting and feeling. When I try to think about how could I avoid talking about the subject, I was inspired by one of his friends, John Barnes, when he spoke about thinking as a harsh judgment and feeling as a merciful judgment. And that gave me the idea of boundaries. So basically, denotation describes the functions that have clear and rigid boundaries. So sensing is denotative because the forms of the object are already set and definitive. And thinking is denotative because the propositions and rules are sound and clear. There is no inherent ambiguity for either of these functions. And the opposite, connotation, happens when there are loose boundaries. Feeling is connotative because you don't know exactly when one emotion ends and the other begins. And intuiting is connotative because there is no definitive way to present or understand a connection or insight. The second half, provided by Jack Aaron, talks basically about the distance between the object and the subject. When the subject is the closest to the object, it becomes involvement. It's the case for sensing and feeling. In this case, you only understand when you are moved and influenced by the functions. So in order to get sensing and feeling, you need to be within the happening of sensing and feeling. And its opposite is detachment. Intuitive thinking require you to not be influenced by anything. You need to be aware from what you are analyzing and processing. When I try to think about how could I solve that without a subject, I perceived how the special involvement relies on the human experience, that the human experience happens definitely within time. And that gave me some good insights. Based on that, I saw that intuiting and thinking provide their results to you at once and it comes completely. You don't get them in parts. It's absolute. And its opposite, involvement, happen through time. They happen progressively and they are made by parts. So in order to understand the involvement of sensing and feeling, you need to realize that sensing perceives things as made of parts, and feeling judges emotions by collecting and analyzing the different motions that happen at the same time. It's also made of parts. That's it. I hope it holds true, and thanks for watching.